Welcome, friends. I'm Andy, the storyteller. Today I have another fun adventure to share from Farmer Brown's Dinosaur Farm. So grab your favorite stuffy and find a nice quiet spot. We're about to take a trip to Farmer Brown's Dinosaur Farm. It was a warm summer day on Farmer Brown's Dinosaur Farm. It was almost like a normal farm. The sun was shining, the tractor was heading down the road, and the pterodactyls flapped their wings in the breeze. Okay, maybe that last part isn't quite normal. Farmer Brown had dozens of dinosaurs on his farm. He'd found all the eggs frozen in the ground and raised them like a farmer would. They all had names and their own pens to live in. Some of the veggie-eating dinosaurs could live together. He even used some dinosaurs to work on the farm. When the tractor gets bogged down in the mud, he has Steggy, the Stegosaurus, to pull him out. He puts a rope around his large back plates and ties the other end to the bumper of the tractor. Then he gets Steggy to walk by holding a carrot in front of his nose. Steggy will reach out for the carrot, take a step forward, and pull the tractor out of the mud. When the tractor was out, Steggy got to eat the carrot. One day, while Farmer Brown was eating his lunch at his house, he got a phone call. He didn't know the voice on the other end of the phone. "Sir, this is Taylor at the Burger and Shake Shack. We've got a problem." "Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Taylor, but how can I help you?" "One of your dinosaurs is down here eating milkshakes right out of the machine in the kitchen." "Now that's funny, Taylor, but not many of my dinosaurs can fit inside a building." "No, her body is outside, but she stuck her long neck in the kitchen." That's when Farmer Brown knew what was going on and who was at the Burger and Shake Shack. Farmer Brown hung up and jumped into his truck. Rover the dog came too. They both sped down the mountain and into town. You'd think you'd notice when a large dinosaur as tall as a 3-story building escaped from your farm, but you'd be surprised. Dinosaurs are sneakier than you think. Many of Farmer Brown's dinosaurs get out and roam around. He once got a call that there was one in a family swimming pool. As Farmer Brown pulled up to the Burger and Shake Shack, there were cars everywhere. People were watching and pointing at a dinosaur with its head in a building. "Thanks for coming, Farmer Brown," said Taylor. "You're the only person in the area I know with dinosaurs." As Farmer Brown walked inside, he could see Patty, the Apatosaurus, with her face in the milkshake machine. She was having the time of her life. She had managed to push the lever on the milkshake machine with her nose and lick up the milkshake as it poured out. Farmer Brown paused at Patty's intelligence. He was impressed, but he was also upset because he had to get her out of there. Farmer Brown walked up next to Patty's large head. He watched her for a moment. "Does it taste good, Patty?" asked Farmer Brown. Patty froze at the sound of Farmer Brown's voice. Her eyes got bigger and her tongue stopped licking. She slowly looked over at him with a chocolate milkshake all over her face, and then hung her head low because she knew she was in trouble. That's when Patty tried to escape. She had poked her head through the drive-thru window, but as she backed up to get her head out, she realized she was stuck. She got her head in, but could not get it out. Patty pulled and pulled and pulled, but could not get her head through the drive-thru window. Farmer Brown pushed, Taylor pushed, the entire cooking staff pushed, but they could not get her out. "I know what to do," exclaimed Taylor. "Get all of the butter substitute you can find." "Don't worry, sir. I had to get my little brother's head unstuck from the staircase like this." Taylor began to rub butter substitute all over Patty's large head, making her very slick. This also made Patty very tasty, and she began to lick herself and whacking Taylor with her very large tongue. Farmer Brown called for Rover. He told Rover to wait for him to whistle. Then Rover was to bite Patty on the tail to make her jump, which he hoped would free her head from the window. "Taylor, you got any barrels of ice cream around here I can borrow?" "Of course," said Taylor, still buttering Patty's head. 2 Burger and Shake Shack employees loaded 3 large barrels of ice cream into Farmer Brown's truck and opened up the tops. "All right," said Farmer Brown. "Is everybody ready?" The crew nodded. This was it. Their one chance to get Patty out and clean the kitchen before the dinner rush. Farmer Brown whistled, and Rover bit the tip of Patty's tail, just like he was supposed to. Patty stared blankly at the humans inside. The crew waited, but nothing happened. They all looked confused. "Oh," said Farmer Brown. "Patty is so large that her tail is so far from her brain that it takes a while for the signal to travel up here to her head." Just then, Patty's eyes widened. She thrashed around and out came Patty's golden, delicious, buttery head. Farmer Brown and Rover ran to the truck. He stood beside it and hollered for Patty. She looked down at him and could smell the delicious ice cream in the back of the truck. Farmer Brown fired up the engine and started back to the farm. The crowd cheered as Farmer Brown pulled out onto the road. Patty followed the delicious smell of the ice cream down the road, up the mountain, and into her pen. Once there, Patty ate all 3 barrels of ice cream. Now, every year on the anniversary of the Milkshake incident, the crew at the Burger and Shake Shack sends a barrel of ice cream to Patty. They even created a sweet new treat in her honor, the Chocosaurus. The end. Here's some facts about the Stegosaurus. The Stegosaurus lived in the late Jurassic period. It had 4 legs, a powerful tail, and 2 rows of bony plates along its back. The Stegosaurus was a herbivore, meaning it only ate plants. It's believed that the Stegosaurus could move its back plates to catch sunlight to keep itself warm. Make sure you ask your parents to follow Farmer Brown's Dinosaur Farm so you can hear more stories from the farm. This show is sponsored by The Secure Dad. Parents can learn new ways to live safer, happier lives at thesecuredad.com.